Welcome to Coombe and Curry Sports Cards Podcast, where collecting meets a game. The boys are back in town. That's right, your favourite podcast vendors are back. Series 2, Episode 1. Coombe. It's been a little while. Been a couple of weeks, mate. How are we doing?
Do you want me to sing The Boys Are Back in Town?
I would love for you to sing it, yeah.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. just discussing copyright laws.
The green room.
Nothing wrong with singing it. So
there is nothing wrong with singing it. Maybe we'll maybe at some point we'll get a musical act
license
onto the pod. No, not like
yeah.
Just get like a I don't know, like a cover band to come on to do like an intro song or something.
Is there, when you sing a song, is there a line where you sing it too good that you're then in copyright infringement law territory? I think with my singing though, we're in no danger of that.
Pass it on to the HR team again. Well, here we are. Season 1 down. Fantastic series of pods. We're over a year in. And milestones have been hit. We're here, and we are coming off the back of a monumental sporting occasion. Super Bowl 60. The Super Bowl 60?
Yep.
60. I'm going to jump straight into it because it's at the forefront of your mind. It's at the forefront of mine. Let me start with my side, shall I? It was Sunday UK night. UK what, about 11, 10:30, and I think I messaged you.
Didn't it? Late, wouldn't it?
Absolutely folded. Being the age I am, I was. It was the odds were stacked against me. So I actually took myself off to bed, and I didn't actually manage to catch any of the Super Bowl on the night. But you did, New Zealand time in the morning, didn't you, Chief?
Yeah. Well, firstly, it's a funny one because I'm not superstitious, right? And I proceed to tell people I'm not superstitious, but then kind of quote and behave like I am. And I think through being the big sportsmans that we are, I feel like sometimes, when you're watching, say, like Liverpool's run to a Champions League or something, it feels like it's meant to be, doesn't it? Like you can't see a world where you don't get the result. And I've been kind of feeling like that with Seahawks and the run. It's just felt it's meant to be. However, on the day of the Super Bowl, people who were supposed to be watching, essentially with me, started dropping like flies. Lemmers, friend of the podcast, turns out he was watching Cooler Shaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So wasn't watching live, so he turned his phone off, so there was nothing there. And then you told me, MC, that you would have the day off the next day, and that we had agreed to exchange videos throughout the night and make a. So I sent you a video, and you went, "Yeah, great video, but I'm going to bed."
And it was that abrupt.
Yeah, it was. So that vibe of it meant to be. It rocked me. It really rocked me, and I thought, no, I'm not feeling this, and I thought we were in trouble here.
I remember you messaged me back saying something like you've messed with the feng shui. The feng shui. Which did make me chuckle in a very tired state. So yeah,
I had all them ducks right. I had all those ducks in a line.
So you said didn't you have did your mate come over, the Patriots fan? He was going to come and watch it with you?
Yes, my mate did, yeah. But he, again, when you're watching it with your mate, my mate Tom, I have to get him on at some stage, actually. He could talk about how I've relentlessly tried to get him into collecting, and he continues to resist. But yeah, he came round, but he's a big Patriots fan, but I think he was quite relaxed about it because he felt like they were underdogs, and obviously they've won a lot of Super Bowls. And again, I find that concept weird because I wanted wanted jeopardy. I wanted banter. I wanted to be giving it to Barry because, as you know, I can give it, but I cannot take it.
Oh, we know, boy.
Yeah, and we're talking about banter, to be clear.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, for me, it never felt right. But thankfully, there's a reason why I'm not superstitious, and like Seahawks just dominated, and I was absolutely buzzing. I was sitting there like my leg was going, I was shaking. It's funny. I kept saying to my mate, he's cracking up because I'm panicking, because there was a period where we were dominating, but it stayed at three. We were 3-up, and I kept saying to him, I cannot relax until we're 2 scores clear. But I think what's interesting is that I think most people would agree. I think that was the most predictable Super Bowl ever, and I think anyone who wanted to give an opinion on what might happen would have predicted the way it actually happened. And I said that to my mate. I said to him, as soon as we get 2 scores ahead, that's it. It's done because you're not going to be scoring a lot of points, and I think everyone knew that. And I think for Pats to have potentially got something out of it, they would have had to have defended really well and stopped Seahawks from scoring. And that was my concern, especially that first quarter, possibly up until late, I guess, towards half time, where we're not capitalising on their inability to get anywhere near scoring a point. And that was my concern. You can sit there and go, oh, Pats are shit. They don't look like scoring, which is exactly the case. But if you don't capitalise, you don't get them points. Bang, one good throw, and you're in, and you could end up winning something that you've not dominated, you've not played well in, and that was always my fear. So I kept saying to him, but as a Pats fan, he obviously had no confidence, so he found it amusing that I was so, But there was never any jeopardy. But what an experience, though. Like supporting. I think I've been into NFL for close to a decade now, and I've not seen. I'm quite used to Seahawks being okay, outside chance of playoffs. I think they've been in the playoffs 2 or 3 times, but never really done well since I was a supporter. But like I said, this season just seems so different. It seemed there was something about it. The Sam Darnold thing as well. The story of Sam Darnold. And but what's cool about that is when he was in his rookie season at the Jets, I went over with Lemmers and a few others to watch Jets against Giants, and Sam Darnold actually played for Jets then, and he was unbelievable. That was one of his better games. But for him to, his story, there was any WWE fans, but it's cracking me up because my mate who's the Pats fan, Tom, he's a WWE fan, and I don't like Cody Rhodes because they bleat on about finishing his story. But that's what it felt like with Sam Darnold. He's finished his story. But man, just epic, absolutely epic. Like I've watched so many videos from the street parade, and I just love it. Love all the cigars.
First and foremost, congratulations. I watched the highlights, and it was like I said to you in the message. I said I was pretty sure it's going to be a foregone conclusion for any Office fans, Brent fans. You'll know what a great band as well. That was. I just felt like you knew Seahawks were going to win. I think the majority of American football fans knew they were going to win. And watching the highlights, like what's the quarterback's name? Drake
May. Oh, sorry, Drake May.
Sacked 6 times, didn't he?
I know, yeah.
At least that says it all, doesn't it? Like your defense was. Yeah, they can handle it.
I think the thing with Drake May is that Drake May can run, and that was possibly a concern for Seahawks. But what was cracking me up, I was saying to my mate Tom, is that I don't know if he just got overwhelmed by the big stage, because there was a point where, like, we saw Sam Darnold in the pocket. He was like sort of giving it some of this and getting out of some real tight situations. But Drake May just froze. There was one, I don't know if it's the first half, but there was one where he just seemed to have an eternity, and you could see two of the two of the dark side heading straight towards him, and he just stood there, and I'm like, even as a Seahawks fan, I was like to my mate, "What's he just move? Like you can see him
Yeah.
coming, get rid of it." I just think I think they had it's probably a bit boring to some people, but I think they had quite an easy schedule. And I think without a doubt, and Nick, who's going to join us later on in the pod, will confirm, if Bo Nix for the Broncos didn't get injured, there's no way Pats are in the Super Bowl. It's Bronx, Seahawks all the way, and we're looking at a tougher game. So I think but you got look, at the end of the day, they got there. But I just think it was possibly one of been a fan for about a decade, so I can't speak for before then, but certainly in my time, that's got to be one of the biggest mismatches going into a Super Bowl. But it doesn't matter. We got the trophy, boys, Super Bowl champions.
Easy peasy, there we go. I've got a question on the Super Bowl for you. What were your thoughts on the Bad Bunny halftime show then?
Oh, shocking.
As predicted, you weren't a fan before, you're not a fan now. Fair enough.
It's just embarrassing. I've got no other. I'm not even gonna. We're never gonna bring politics into Coombe & Curry Sports Cards podcast, and I'm not going to say that and then go into politics. But my issue wasn't anything like that. Like, I've got no issue with everyone's different, everyone's got different opinions and stuff like that. So there's no political reason for me not liking it, other than the fact it was garbage. Like, I've seen so many videos where people have taken away the backing track, and I mean, I can't actually give you my actual instinctual feeling towards it because we would be cancelled. But he has to be what he sounded like. But without the backing track, like, I've never heard anything. Like, me and you could have done that. Like, and I'm not even joking. It's bloody awful. And have you seen videos of people in the stands as well? I think everyone's a bit confused.
No, I haven't. But I just knew I could just. Obviously, we spoke about it beforehand, and you weren't looking forward to it, and didn't live up to your expectations. But hey, the main thing is Seahawks won. Happy days.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, to sum that performance up, the best bit about that performance was Ricky Martin.
He came on for a cameo, didn't he?
I know. Do you know what the joke of it is? We would have all loved a bit of "She bangs, oh baby" when she moves. that big bunny or whatever he's called. You know what I mean? Like a bit of Ricky Martin would have been that would have got the crowd moving.
I don't think he's got enough songs to.
Nah, just that one will do.
Just the one, just on repeat.
Just the one. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, amazing stuff. Well done on the Super Bowl, mate. Talk to me about cards, Seahawks cards, quickly. Any of them affected? How's it affected your PC or Seahawks cards in general after they win?
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is a really important segment that I wanted to talk about, because this is linked to, in my opinion, why we do this and why we're in the hobby, why we do the podcast. Because I just received as you boys like to say, a care package from. I love that. Cracks me up. It's like a bowl of pasta. You know, when we're growing up, where should we go for? When we go to a gig or something, we'll go for a bowl of pasta first. It just makes me laugh. But I got a care package from Card Geezer, and I got some real nice cards, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But I sat them on the little table that's next to my chair for the Super Bowl, and I was chatting to my mate, and I was saying, what I find interesting is that I'm looking at that card, right, and it's it's 100% linked to what we're watching. So the result of what happens in that game, right, has like it's got like a history that links to the card that you then can't alter. And I love it. So it's not just a card. You look at the card. It's the same with you boys with your football and stuff like that. You know, Mark, I don't want to ruin something that you might talk about later, but you had an auto that you wanted to collect and stuff like that. And there's a reason. You don't just want to collect someone's auto for absolutely no reason. You had a reason why you wanted to collect the card. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, what's happening now? Is it always going to be linked to that card? When I look at it, it will be, you'll remember certain things. Even the fact I watched it with my mate is linked to the card. But the result's linked to the card, isn't it? So at the end of the Super Bowl, if Seahawks don't win, the card is still linked with what happened, but the value may be different if Seahawks didn't win it. And if Seahawks win it, then the value again is different. And that's what I absolutely love about it. You feel so invested, and there's such a link. So you pick the card up, you've got memories, you've got history, you've got results, and then you've got these value changes as well. But I think in the lead up to the Super Bowl, I kept looking at the Darnold prices, and his prices were just. And then all of a sudden you win the Super Bowl, and his Sam Darnold's market now is just is so high. I've already had people messaging me, offering me Sam Darnold rookie cards, which is cracking me up. It's just that's just the market. And as soon as the Super Bowl finished, I think they were still hadn't lifted the trophy, and I had people offering me other Seahawks cards. The market, even in New Zealand when it's quite small, just gets really excited. People before they've even left the stadium trying to cash in and grab their money, which is quite. I don't know. I quite like it. It's entertaining. But I think what we've seen since the Super Bowl is, Seahawks prices inevitably have gone up. I look at my collection now and I can see the dollar signs. I'll never cash in because that's my collection. And like I said, to sound a bit daft, but my story is, I effectively started in the off season. So this is kind of like the first full season. And I think it's kind of amazing that everything I've collected has then been in that Super Bowl year. So I feel like that's all linked to that. I'm going to struggle. Anything other than a double, I'm going to struggle to part with it. I feel like that's always going to be my PC. But definitely have an effect on how I collect now. So I don't think there's going to be that urgency there because I've got something. I've got something with a story, a memory, something that I love. But I think getting back to the market at the minute, I've been looking at the Drake May market, and I feel like it's still pretty stable. So there's not really been a massive drop in the prices because, again, if you look at his story, he's in his second year, and Pat's had two back-to-back heavy losing regular seasons, and they've probably unexpectedly got to the Super Bowl. I think if we're being honest, they weren't expected to be in the Super Bowl. And I think that's testament a little bit to how Drake May's performed. And I think he's still going to be big, I think. He's still going to be big. So I think having a Drake May rookie card still important. I think it's still got value, and I don't think that's been reflected in the market. I think the biggest, I think JSN's cards, for example, his cards have gone through the roof temporarily. I was looking at his 101 Black Shimmer Prism. I think that was at $2,500 before the month before the Super Bowl, and I think it's just been sold for about $44K.
Nice little profit margin on that then.
Exactly, yeah. So, but that will calm down. That will settle down a little bit. But I think in terms of Drake May, it's definitely I don't think there's a dramatic change there. There's not a big loss in cards. I think personally, I'd still hold Drake May if you've got Drake May rookie cards. I think they'll certainly hold their value, and I think he'll go on and have a good career.
Good advice. Wow, let's stick with American themed sports and welcome to Series 2, Andy from Seaside Sports. Andy, how you doing, mate?
Welcome, Andy.
Good, thanks. How you doing, gents? Nice to see you both. Congratulations on Season 2. Or Series 2, whatever you're calling it.
We should call it Season 2, yeah. I like
Season 2,
Season
2. It's all going well here. It's been some good boxes in the NBA recently. I don't know if you've heard of like the Sapphire boxes. So there's going to be the Premier League Chrome boxes that came out last week. They're going to do a Sapphire one in about a week, but the NBA ones have been coming out, and they're like $3,000 a box. So I've been watching them on Whatnot and seeing what's been going, but the prices are so high for, like, you know, if I was trying to buy in for the Lakers, you're talking like £250, and you're not guaranteed, not guaranteed anything. So it's a little bit out of my price range, but they're cool. They're really cool cards, like really, really cool cards. So, and then they've also released Midnight as well for the NBA, which is like a box that's got 7 cards in it. So you're guaranteed 3 autos.
Oh, nice.
I've got one from last year's, which I just got like on eBay. So they kind of look like this. So they're nice autos.
Good. Yeah.
But you're talking £600 a box.
Right. Okay.
So you could get any players. This one is a £4 player off eBay. So you could be spending a lot of money on those boxes and not really getting a lot back. So, but that seems to be the story with the NBA boxes this year. Is because they've now got the license. Last year it was unlicensed and everything was a lot cheaper. Whereas now, because they have the license, everything is so expensive. So it's way beyond the Premier League prices. So it's a shame because
I was going to say that's the curiosity going into the next NFL season, isn't it? Because I think from Nick might be able to confirm this later, but I think going from April possibly is when the license changes. And obviously, from my point of view, there's a massive curiosity about what that looks like with Topps, which you'll have obviously a lot of experience with anyway in terms of like your NBA and baseball and stuff like that. But yeah, it's quite exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And they seem to follow the same pattern. So you'll end up with NFL Sapphire, NFL Midnight, or whatever it might be. But it's just, there's so many and it's so rapid. I don't know how to keep up with it all, really. It's just, there's so many to go through. Even the Premier League stuff is just so much, isn't it?
So what's your strategy, with what you're doing, your content and stuff like that? Are you trying to make your way through all the products, or do you have a product that you personally collect or prefer?
Kind of set myself a sort of year target of buying into as much as I could or can, and then once I've done like that round yearly trip of all the boxes, then I kind of know what I want to buy next year.
Right. Okay.
So for example, I definitely go back into the NBA stuff, but the Chrome stuff I wasn't really that into this year. I thought it was not worth the money. So it's kind of like picking and choosing a little bit more next year. And not being so like trying to buy everything, I think.
Yeah.
It's
hard. It's hard though, isn't it? Because I find that as well. I don't know about yourself, Mark, but like I said to the lads here who I break with and stuff, that this year I wasn't going to buy Prism because I'd started getting the mosaic stuff, and I was getting some nice stuff. I really really liked it, and I thought at some point the prices of these things you can't maintain. I just can't do it. This has been an ongoing joke for ages that since I started this hobby, I've spent every penny of my sort of monthly budget on cards. And, and I made a joke about I needed some new boxes, you know what I mean? But like that had to wait because I still needed cards. So there's a point where you've got to stop. And I decided I wouldn't do Prism. And then curiosity got the better of me on a break. And I got this, I don't know if it's going to do it justice on the webcam, right? But it's a Milrose. It's the 75. But I put a picture on the Insta, and when the light hits it, it's a scope, so you've got all the circles in it and stuff like that. And I've just not put it in my box because I just love looking at it. It's hooked me in. And I think, you held up that card there, and it just looks so good. And I think that's the hard thing, is that you sit there and you go, these products are nice. And they know what they're doing. They're expensive, but they're nice, aren't they?
Yeah,
it's really hard to know where to draw the line or...
And you're going to be brought into that realm of Topps now, where you're going to be like, this hasn't happened before, so I want to see what that is, and I want to see what that is, and how that's going to look for the Seahawks. So it's going to be a lot of money for the next year.
Yeah,
not a lot of boxes.
I think all my predictions end up wrong though, because I think with it going to Topps might actually be better because you can sit there and you can go right. look, I've got a decent. I'm happy with where I am at the minute, and like I said, with the Super Bowl as well, it just adds this different layer, this different story to the collection that you've got. So I feel settled. Don will be cracking up at this. We can talk about direction and stuff like that. But yeah, but I thought I'd watch the top stuff and then I'd be like, oh, just have a look. But the second someone else pulls an absolute banger and you work out what the bangers are, I'll be fuming.
That's
when bang, you're in.
That's it.
And like I said, some of those cards are nice, but I think because it's new, you'll probably appreciate. I mean, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but there'll probably be a bit more of appreciation for maybe some of the base and stuff like that because it is new.
Yeah, definitely. And it all looks so nice. It all looks so good, so fresh. Got all the new players, all of those sort of things. So it's exciting. It's exciting, but it's hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
But the basketball stuff's really nice, but it's just so overpriced, I think.
Yeah.
Compared to like our Premier League stuff, that's so much more affordable.
What's Andy? I've got a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Talk us through what's happening at the NBA at the minute. Who's hot? What's going on? Where are we in the season and stuff like that? Because, like you say, Mart and I, this is one thing with season 2, series 2 that we want to bring is more discussion around the things that we're not so knowledgeable about.
Sure.
And I've got a lot of mates who are into NBA. So yeah, mate, I'd appreciate. Where are we? What's the snapshot?
Well, we're just heading into the All-Star weekend. So they have like a competition over the weekend and they have the 3-point contest and all of those things. And you got one of the main rookies, Con Canoopal. He's in the 3-point contest this year, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
And then Cooper Flagg is still like the main player. They still think he's going to be the rookie of the year.
Yeah.
And then Con Canoopal is like the next guy who's the first person to 1,000 3-pointers this season out of the rookies. So it's kind of like a battle between those two at the moment. And they played against each other the other night, and one of them got 40 points, the other one got 34. So it's just like they are slowly taking over. But they're both on teams that they are the best players and they're the rookies almost. So their teams will not be making it anywhere near to a final this year.
Yeah.
You're really looking more at like OKC, who won it last year. Teams like that, really. And my Lakers are just sort of a bit hot and cold, to be honest. So I don't think we're really going to do much this year.
No.
But yeah, so it's Cooper Flagg all the way, really. So the people that haven't bought those Cooper Flagg cards should have done by now because they're just skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Because he's going to, a couple of months, he will be rookie of the year. So
yeah. So how long? Sorry, Mark, go on.
How's LeBron's son getting on?
Yeah, he's doing all right. He played the other night and he got like 12 points, which I think is the most he's ever got in a game. But he comes on and plays the last few minutes. So like football equivalent, you're 5-0 up or you're 4-0 down and you bring someone on the 88th minute, and he's just there for minutes really at the moment. But he is a good player. And they all have like a G League team, which is the equivalent of like the under 21s. So he plays for them. They're called the South Bay Lakers, and he plays for them. And like the highlights of them, he really like shows out, and he's a good player. But not as good as his dad, obviously. And this is the second year in a row, LeBron's not made it to the All-Star game. So that might be a slow decline there for him. But
interesting.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, do you think he'll go on and have a good career?
Bronny?
Yeah.
I think his dad is linked to go back to the Cavs this summer. So he might have to go with him if he wants to play in the NBA for much longer. As much as I like him, there's a lot of other players that are much better than him, I think. So he's kind of riding the coattails of his dad at the moment a bit.
Yeah. But you reckon Cooper Flagg's still the one to...
He's still the one, yeah. If you watch the highlights of him, I mean, I like Con Canoopal already because he's he shoots 3-pointers probably just as good as Steph Curry this season. So he's the one I like, but Cooper Flagg is Yeah, he's a very good player. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
What
interesting season.
But this, I guess, is a question to both of you. But you, Mark, you've sent me a video of the Premier League Chrome stuff, which obviously
Yeah,
there's a funny story in there because I tried to phone Mark just before the podcast,
I
and he was
thought
just.
I've got like 10, 15 minutes to myself in the shed. I thought I had a delay on delivery of this Chrome product, the Premier League Chrome stuff. A value team got delivered today, so I thought I'd come in. I'll video it, cracking it open, and on the last pack, Coop rings me, and it cuts the video off. Not ideal, but it's fine. So I actually do have a card for you, Andy. Actually, that I pulled in the last pack.
Nice. Okay.
It's Belieber, alive and kicking.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
That's yours, mate.
That is nice.
So, there was
Awesome. Thank you very much.
no worries, man. I mean, the cards are great. I didn't pull anything amazing, but I've got a value box coming tomorrow as well. So fingers crossed, I'll pull something better.
Do you know with the Chrome stuff, the Premier League? Do you think that because one issue I had, like, I remember being so excited for them to come out over here in New Zealand, and it was good fun. The rips are fun and stuff like that. And then I looked at it and I just thought I was a bit ultimately underwhelmed, I guess. But does that, with them being Chrome now, does that add something different to even say like the base cards and the sets that you're collecting?
Yeah. Go on, Andy. Go on, mate.
Sorry, yeah, I got a value box through this week as well, actually. And comparing it to the basketball Chrome, the quality is so much better. The cards are thicker, the shine, everything about it is so much better than the basketball version. I'll see if I've got a couple here, but I was really impressed. And if you like, the value box is like £25, whereas the basketball one's 45. And like the difference in them, I mean, this is going to upset me because I'm going to show you a Palace card because I can't find anything else. But this is your Topps Chrome new ones, and then this is your Topps Chrome basketball, and that's the base. So but it's just, to me, the edges and everything else, they don't look as good. It doesn't feel as nice in your hand.
Yeah.
So I would say the Premier League one is much better quality and obviously cheaper as well. So. Yeah, that's what I was saying, like, about the basketball. I'm not sure if I bother purchasing it as much next year, but I'm quite pleased. I don't know, what do you think, Martin, about the Premier League stuff?
Yeah, I was buzzing. Obviously, it got delayed. Both my deliveries got delayed on them, and it's the first time I think I've had like a proper delay of. Obviously, it got released on the 5th, my wife's birthday. So I've only just got one box. I've got one box tomorrow, but quality wise, yeah, amazing. I think, like, as you said, going back to like the Topps Premier League, like the sort of standard stuff, there was a lot of hype around it. It was good. It sort of wore off on you quite quickly, but I think this Chrome product is just, it's up there with, I said to you, the Merlin stuff, the Merlin Topps stuff.
Yeah, I like the Merlin. Yeah.
Really sort of good quality.
It feels very similar, actually, doesn't it? It feels really similar. It's a good quality product. Yeah,
that's my bag for sure. That sort of quite thick, really nice finish, classic cards. Yeah, I like it a lot. On my first tin. So yeah, looking forward to opening the value box next. And apparently they're available in big Tesco's. So
I better get down there.
Might be veering to, like, hours drive this way, hours drive that way to find some or something. But yeah, we'll see.
Mark, just before we move on to our next guest, I guess it's a question for both of you. But do you think that we'll, with the Premier League stuff, do you think we'll see like the Sapphires and the Midnights? Will they go in that direction, or is that sort of separated between the two products? Do you think that will follow suit or do its own thing?
The Sapphire is actually already, I think it's being released in a couple of weeks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so they're going for the Sapphire.
Right.
But again, like the equivalent version of the NBA box, that's £3,000. The Premier League one will not be that, but it's going to be more than the hobby box. I think is about 200.
Yeah.
So you maybe 4. I don't know. Don't know the price points, but the
Yeah.
Sapphire. Yeah, there'll be a couple of weeks. So I'll keep you updated on that one. But
It's relentless, isn't
I'm
it?
sure. Yeah, we'll all have to hop on Whatnot, boys, and just
I personally think we should just all buy one big house and just live in it and buy cards. Like heading that way anyway, you know.
House of Cards. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, cool. Should we move on, Mark?
Yeah, look, Andy, you're more than welcome to stay, but thanks for the feedback on the new
Cool.
product. Tops Chrome. Look forward to seeing some videos of the of what you're pulling, and we'll get you back on when the Sapphire stuff comes out and get your opinion on it all.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Cheers, mate. You're a star.
See you later. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Good morning, Nick.
Again, how you doing?
What are we doing, Nick?
All good, mate.
Is this
Yeah.
appearance free?
Sorry?
Is this appearance number 3?
I think this is number 2.
Oh, number 2.
Yeah, did the first one. So, yeah, thank you for having me back. And it's been a little while.
Yeah, nice to see you, mate.
Hopefully,
you too.
be a bit more regular as we get into Series 2.
Oh, definitely, yeah. We, I'll say that was one of the things we wanted to sort of get aligned while we were off, just that consistency and stuff like that from our side more than anything. But it's hard, isn't it? Because we started it, but then you've got someone in the UK, someone in New Zealand. We probably couldn't get further apart. And then you start realising with the clocks changing, that was the first one, Mark, wasn't it? When it was like, you were like, same time. And I'm like, yeah, the same time is now like me staying up till midnight to do the podcast.
Yeah. This was proving a bit tricky, wasn't it? When the old clocks were changing. But we'll get some consistency going forward.
Yeah, definitely.
The old logistics, everything. We'll get used to it. It's quite a nice time to be doing it in the morning. Didn't need to get up a little bit early and give myself a good slap to wake up. But
Well, this time's all right, though, isn't it? To be fair, like it's probably the most sprightly I've been. Usually, I'm like a zombie.
Got the 2 zombies next door, and hopefully the vacuum cleaner doesn't crank up and come through. But yeah, it's
that's all right. We had that dog going off again, Mark, didn't we? You were trying to concentrate, and all I can hear is that bloody dog.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's ongoing issue. But we'll. I'll have to. Well, there's nothing I can do. They've got like I think she's like 16 or 17-year-old daughter, but she's out and she gets back at like this time, which is like near enough night time. It's like 9:45 here and night time. So obviously the dog kicks off. It's a puppy, but we move. We know we overcome these situations.
The perils of broadcasting from the shed.
All part of the dog life and the card life. What's going on in the world of Coombe and Curry?
We were saying, obviously, without going over, that's exciting. But you can listen to the first bit of the podcast, Nick, when it comes out. But without going over it too much, and I think I was keen to say to get your opinion on this. We had quite a good conversation around the Super Bowl, obviously, and but I was saying to Mark that if Bo Nix doesn't get injured, there's no way we end up with Pats Seahawks. And I was saying, in my opinion, I think it was probably the most predictable Super Bowl I've watched, in the fact that if you'd asked anyone for a prediction, the game probably followed the exact kind of script, for want of a better word, that anyone would have predicted. I think, the Pats had to stay, they had to defend well, and they had to stop Seahawks scoring, which they did for a while. It stayed at 3 for a while. But I think as soon as Seahawks got 2 scores ahead of Pats, they were never going to catch them up. But like I was saying to Mark, my concern, I was watching it with a Pats fan who kept laughing because I was so nervous, even at 3 points. And he's looking at his team going, like, you've got nothing to be nervous about. But I was saying, you can, if you don't capitalise and they never look like they were going to score, but if you don't go and grab the points, all it takes is one moment, and that was my fear. But I think if you asked anyone for a prediction, I think the game kind of followed what most people would have predicted.
Yeah, I think so. kind of reflect on that one moment thing. I mean, that's what got the Pats there. One moment in the championship game. Where Stiddy should have just held the ball, taken the sack. May well have been 7-3. But yeah, Super Bowl wise, like for me is obviously for the Broncos, it's probably the biggest what of 2026. You know, but yeah, it's a good game to watch. Hanging out, we had a few of the KCC crew together, locals here in Hamilton, and we're actually in a craft beer brewery, which might have been a bit of a mistake when we woke up on Tuesday morning. But yeah, it was good. They said kind of followed prediction for Shake, who's part of our group. It was probably a bit disappointing. But yeah, just Super Bowl is an event. So it's good to hang out with mates, have a few drinks, and soak up the day.
What was your... Mark asked me, so I'm going to ask you. What was your opinion on the Bad Bunny halftime show?
I didn't actually see any of it.
So you're lucky.
As soon as halftime came, it was all trying to get some food in so that I'd last the distance, and just everyone kind of turned and just started talking and ignored the TV for a bit. But
that says it all, to be honest, doesn't it? Like it does though. To be fair, I think I bet that that doesn't happen when it was like I'm not particularly into rap music and stuff, but when you had Dre and stuff like that, I mean, that was like nostalgic, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty epic. Sort of halftime show. Definitely, everyone in our house that day was watching the TV. But I think it was quite different just being in a venue as opposed to watching it at home.
True.
Watching it at home, I might have paid a bit more attention. But it's all about the company we were keeping. Halftime.
No, definitely, I get that. It's the
that sounds like an amazing Monday, that Nick. Monday in a craft brew tap room, watching the game with mates, and I was probably tired at work, thinking I wish I stayed up to watch it.
I think it's the challenge of Super Bowl Sunday on a Monday here in New Zealand. Normally it's around a public holiday, so it was a 4-day weekend. Probably should have made it a 5-day weekend to be a bit more effective at work on the day back. But no, it was good fun.
That's always a challenge in the UK, isn't it? It's so late, like into the early hours. And then you get bars that get like special licenses to stay up. I remember one year, me and Lemmy went to London and we bought like a ticket to a bar. I think it was when it was Chiefs Niners. I think we bought a ticket and then you got food, chicken wings and stuff like that. But you were sitting, the tables were like you were laid out like they were at school, big long tables and that. So like they'd give you your wings and they'd serve you food throughout the night, but you'd just be sitting with, they'd mark where you're sitting and you were with all these different people, which is class. I'd start talking to random people and it became quite a big event, but it was like the whole top floor of this club. There was like pool tables, table tennis, obviously had screens everywhere, chicken wings just brought to you all night. It's a dream.
Awesome. I think if I reflect back to our time in the UK, the things like Super Rugby and Tri Nations and everything from back here was kind of like a 7 a.m. start, in the UK summer, 7:30, and most places were open for breakfast, and you had to wait till half time to get a beer and for the license to kick in, and then generally staggering out at lunchtime, and gotta love a bit of day drinking.
Yeah. Hey Mark, that's just reminded me of something. Actually, we've got. I know you're not massively into it, but I'll be up early hours this morning, Sunday morning, Nick, for England Scotland rugby Calcutta Cup.
Six Nations on the way. It's pretty hectic schedule, even with NFL out. You've got to get Six Nations.
It's all sorts.
Super Rugby started, T20 Cricket World Cup.
Yeah.
Not much time for sleeping in amongst all of that. But,
no, that's it, yeah. And then obviously as football fans, me and Mark, we're not, well, obviously not you, Mark, but I'll be up, it's FA Cup, isn't it, this weekend?
Yeah,
so it's Liverpool-Brighton, isn't it? But look, I don't want to ruin that segment, so... Mark's always the host, and then I'll just get carried away and I'm like ruin each segment. But Nick,
Yeah, card business.
card business, yeah. So should we start with breaks and stuff like that? What's coming up? Because we spoke about it before. There's one thing that I don't know if you can clarify, which I probably should have used the internet to clarify before the podcast. But when is the changeover with the license? Is the first thing.
So we run through with Panini until the end of March.
Yep.
So looking at the release schedule, I think last release for them is 27th of the 3rd.
Right.
And then it cruises into Tops. I haven't seen a lot from Tops around what's first up, but I'm assuming it'll kind of follow a similar schedule to NBA, and it may even be later because I think obviously the draft coming up, are they going to do anything with 2025 rookies, or just go straight into 2026 post draft? It's a bit unclear at the moment. So just trying to make sure for me that I've got access to product really to keep things rocking along until that becomes a bit more certain. My mail days not so much cards for the PC at the moment, but cases of Panini product.
Well,
to keep things.
I guess that's the other question. I guess from I guess for want of a better word, a customer of yours. My concern is, are we stocked up? So during this uncertain period, have we got enough stock for plenty of breaks?
Yeah, look, I think 2025 product shouldn't be any shortage of. I'm not. I'd like to get down to Taranaki, catch up with my supplier, and have a good yarn, have a hunt through his warehouse, and see what's actually there. To get a full stock list. I'd like to try and grab some more 2024, 23, possibly stay away from 22. Just see what's out there. I think if you start getting back to 2020, it gets a bit expensive with that rookie class. Just trying to get a range of product, or even, just the smooth supply. Is the key part.
Especially with it being a bit, I guess, of an unknown period in terms of the supply and stuff like that. But I was saying to the guys before, I think in terms of breaking stuff like that, well, I guess what I'm excited, what I actually thought is that now, with Seahawks winning the Super Bowl and stuff like that, and that kind of attached to the PC that I've collected already, I feel like I was in a sensible position to look at, maybe sit back, watch some of the Topps product come out. But I said the danger's always that you see, because you're learning it, I guess, where I've got no interest in NBA cards and stuff like that, you don't know some of the things that are out there. So where, with us being new, you've learned about, let's say, color blasts and downtowns, kabooms and stuff like that. I have no idea what the equivalent is with Topps. So there's some excitement about that, but there's also an opportunity to sit back and see some of that stuff coming out first. But I said it's all nice when you think about it like that, but the second someone else jumps in and something really nice comes out, I'll be fuming.
It's I'm kind of the same with Topps product. Haven't paid too much attention to other sports. It's got a bit of research to do. What are the case hits? So I think even with Topps product, probably only opened a couple of boxes of Bowman University over the years. So it's been really focused on Panini. So looking forward to kind of just seeing some new stuff. The designs. I'm not 100% sure on where my preference is at the moment. I haven't watched enough of the Topps product. It's exciting times. Changes can always be a bit of a challenge. Looking forward to that switch over. But we got a couple of exciting months coming up. With some big releases.
I guess with the Topps, it gives a little bit of, like sort of what I found with the Panini. You get some inserts that you don't necessarily want to collect, or we're always hunting for something specific. And I think with the Topps, from my opinion, is, I guess initially you'll be, I don't know, I'm trying to find the words, but the word's not grateful, but you'll be sort of open to having a bigger range of inserts, for example, in your PC initially. And I guess as time goes on and you realise what it is you really like, that will then change. But I think that early product buzz for me, I'm excited because you don't know, it's all new, isn't it? You haven't seen it, so almost every insert that comes out that looks nice, I feel like could be wrong, and correct me if I am wrong, but I think the look of something will play an early role when the product comes out. Look, does the card look nice? Yeah, I want it in my collection without looking at other factors.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. You're, like you said, excitement for the that new look. Yeah,
Yeah,
my PC looks like this. All right, there's these inserts, and you still get that with Panini product as the inserts change each year. I think they were trying to recall things like the touchdown masters. It's
yeah,
a mosaic. Yeah,
yeah.
some years have been awesome, some years not.
This year
So
looks good.
yeah, so
Yeah,
you wouldn't have kind of, I don't know, I guess wouldn't have wanted to collect them in previous years, whereas this year looks good. So I'm gonna add my team players in that parallel or that insert.
yeah. No, I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, it's been it's been tricky for me recently because with Seahawk, I'm assuming with Seahawk success, everyone's jumping in. So it's been pretty relaxed up until now, and now every time a break comes out, I go look down for Seahawks, and someone else has got it.
I think you when you first came in, there was a few people taking a bit of a break,
Yeah,
but something like a Super Bowl win always reinvigorates people.
yeah,
Yeah, so you see that, but you kind of consistent. The people that are grabbing them are kind of a consistent group that have grabbed
they
them
are.
over
Yeah,
the years.
yeah,
It's not so much new people come in, just people refreshed.
yeah. They
Yeah,
want to. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get that. I think I remember. Obviously, when I came in, there was no, like you said, there was obviously some. I get, I say it. Jason Hurley was. I hadn't seen his name, but obviously he's a stalwart, and he's created obviously that other New Zealand card group. But I remember when his name first appeared, I was like, hold on a minute. Like, since I've come in, no one's ever taken Seahawks. So I just thought, oh, happy days. And then his name appears, and you're like, well, who's this? And now
yeah.
all these, like I said, it is consistent as well. The names are always the same. There's a few that have changed on Card Crazy, but yeah, like generally the names are the same. But yeah, it's a lot more competition now for Seahawks.
Yeah,
It's
I
probably
think
good for my bank balance.
KCC is between you and T to see who gets there first. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's Broncos a little bit the same lately as well, where previously you could just sit there and wait and
yeah,
make a decision. Now you kind of, if you're half hour late, it's like, oh,
yeah.
hence not much in the way of mail turning up lately.
No,
But a few things that are waiting to leave Australia that I'm quite excited about.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you can talk about at the minute, or you biding your
The
time?
so Prism, obviously Prism release has just been jumped in a few breaks over there because not a lot of products being ripped in New Zealand yet.
Yep.
And first break goes in was a jersey numbered Patrick Surtain True Gold from
Oh,
Prism,
nice. Yeah,
which was kind of maybe jumping the rest of the case, which wasn't quite so flash.
yeah,
But yeah, a few nice cards for the PC, and I think there's a couple of Phoenix cards, the Mojo to 15 auto of Pat Bryant and
yeah,
Harvey in the Contours Mojo. So yeah, looking forward to those rocking in. It'll just the place that I break with over there, they kind of just consolidate. It's free shipping, but they wait till there's a decent whack in
yeah,
there just to make it worthwhile.
yeah. It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you I guess I've never, even on the first show, probably didn't get so much into it. But do you collect? Have you got a certain product that you particularly like? I know, obviously, we all like a bit of National Treasures and Immaculate and stuff like that. But in terms of your Prism, which you've just discussed there, Mosaic, Phoenix, do you collect those cards as well?
So kind of Mosaic is chasing those case hits.
Yeah,
And the lower numbered stuff within Mosaic, and that's kind of the same with most now. Just being a bit picky in what I jump in. Prism's always favourite, especially being the last year, wanted to jump in there and have a good crack of it.
yeah,
But for us or for Broncos, there's only I think one Colour Blast here, and not much in the way of the other mango case hits or nothing there. Select is another favourite. Do enjoy Select. National Treasures, Flawless. It really depends on the price of the team, and what the budget's up to. This year, Flawless will be a bit more affordable than last without having a QB in there.
Yep.
So looking forward to that. And all those, I guess, when you're talking about those cards, so like National Treasures, Select, Flawless, they're all due for release this month. So
expensive month.
So February is a big month, and March still some cool stuff in there. Probably the most expensive release that you'll see from Panini this year, with the Mahomes authentically coming out. I think first off the line starts with a Dutch auction high price of $25,000 US.
I saw that on the socials. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then a floor I think of 12,000 for a single box case.
Yeah, you struggle to fill that, Nick. I think.
I think the whole country will pass on that one. But it looks pretty epic. I'm keen to see some get opened around some of the bigger pages, because you've got a couple of on-card autos in there. And sort of gem cards, memorabilia cards. I think it's a 5-card. Let me have a quick look. A 5-card box or 8-card box.
5 cards for 25k.
Yeah, I think that's the ceiling. Like for the Dutch auction, it won't end up selling for that. I'd say it'll be down closer to the 12. But 2 on card, 1 other auto, 2 base, and then 3 gem or memorabilia cards. So 8 card box.
Fair enough. Is it? This could be a daft question, but is that product all going to be Paddy Mahomes?
All Patrick Mahomes and all Chiefs. There's some multi-auto ones in there, but they are all Chiefs players. So one of the 6 auto booklets is Marcus Allen, Tyreek Hill, Paddy Mahomes, Andy Reid, Christian Okoye, and Joe Montana. So it'd be a pretty epic booklet to have sitting in your cabinet.
I think that's just for people on a different level, isn't it? Because say for some bizarre reason I found myself in one of those breaks, I don't know, I'd have to win a spot, I guess. If I pulled something like that, I wouldn't actually be able to afford to actually hold the card, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It would just be too, you just can't justify, I couldn't justify it. If I told my missus I've got like a 50 grand card in my collection, she'd be like, well, that has to go.
Some things that we keep to ourselves. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's it's madness. Some life-changing money, isn't it? But I know there was some messages the other day, Nick, on the Signal group, but I'd been chatting to. So like one good thing for me from the hobby is just the amount of people now that I feel like you can call friends that I talk to. Actually, ironically, most of which I've never met face to face, but you just spend a lot of time talking to. But Brock Nash is one of them. So he's been on the podcast, but we chat almost every day about cards. And I was saying that I'm not going to go into any Prism breaks this year because I'd had quite a lot of joy with Mosaic and I really like it. I think it was one of the first products I bought over here when I wanted to get into collecting, and I just love it. And I've bought a few. I've got a JSN Genesis. I've got a Cooper Cup on the way, a Royo, and a few other bits. So I was like, yeah, pretty happy with that. I'll stick with Mosaic. Won't touch the Prism. And then I went into a break with. I've not actually been into one of their breaks before, but it just happened to be there at the right time, right place, right time. I went into one with Blunt, and I got this, which I'm sure you've seen. And
it's the green scope,
yeah, it doesn't look that great on webcam, but the picture on Insta, when the light hits it and you see all the circles and that, I just can't stop looking at it. And now I'm hooked. So I'm waiting for your next link so I can be first in.
I did have a laugh because I remember you mentioning it. I think it was one of the previous podcast episodes. Staying away from Prism.
Yeah.
And then seeing your name pop up.
Oh,
then seeing obviously with the hit and getting it in hand,
yeah,
it feeds the machine quite
it
quickly.
does. It's relentless, isn't it?
Yeah.
But to be fair, not I guess through choice a little bit, but I'm saying about people jumping on Seahawks. There's been a couple of opportunities across yourself and Card Crazy where I could have jumped on for some of the optic, but I'm not really. I've bought myself a Milrow Uptown, which is on the way, and I don't really like the Milrow Downtown. I think the Uptown's so good because you can see the Pike Market, Space Needle, and stuff like that. Whereas the Downtown's just a bit of seaweed or something. It's not, and it's not for me. So I feel like maybe this is wrong, but Donruss is a little bit downtown and bust, isn't it? Really, there's not really.
Donruss, yeah, it is. One, I guess you're working through those inserts and the parallels. Yeah,
Yeah,
there are a couple of other case hits within it, but very much around the downtown. Still trying to figure out what to do with the two full sets of vet base that I've got here from my silly personal rips.
yeah,
But yeah, kind of as you move on to optic's got a bit more variety.
yeah.
So it brings in the Uptowns,
The
Rocky
base
Kings.
is nice as well, isn't it, on optic?
Yeah, and I think a little bit more, I guess, tough this year than last year from what I've seen of the retail product.
Yeah,
But looking forward. Got a case of megas here that landed a couple of days ago. Try and work through and see what the hit rates are like in that. And
I'll definitely jump on some of the megas, but I think, yeah, like for me, I think with the optic and stuff, anything the lower stuff, I'll probably jump on. But I think for me, Prism hobby, keen to see a link for that. And then I've always said the same with Select. Like I feel like the cards, I quite like sort of modern, sort of simple cards and stuff like that. The simpler, the better, I guess. But Select always looks to me a little bit more classic. It's not really. I've never been that too bothered by it. Yeah, it's never stopped me going in the breaks. But
obviously there's the different parallels within there, but things like obviously field level is kind of normally the hunt.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see what they do with it this year.
Yeah.
This year obviously won't have the XRCs, which has always been kind of a big part of Select. Buying in and getting an XRC for next year's rookie class, but we're not going to see that this year. So it'll be interesting to see what they if they've changed it up at all with that, and then. After that, as we roll into March, we've kind of got Prism Black coming in, which is not generally was part of the Chronicles set originally. It was run through there, but we haven't seen Chronicles for a couple of years. So seeing it as a standalone is going to be quite cool. There's a bit of college stuff in there as well. So you've got kind of Arch Manning, Color Blast, that sort of thing. Between that and Silhouette, which are the last two releases I can see at the moment before the handover, to finishing with two new products really, or returning products.
Yeah. Prism Black, is that? I don't think I've even heard of that. Sounds good though. It's piqued my interest, that.
I haven't got anything in the cabinet that I can pull out. I don't think. I think my Prism Black kits have not been worthy of being put in the cabinet. So they're in a box somewhere. But it's really, if we look back, I think 2020 stuff, where I've got a few, the chrome's replaced with black.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah, I like that.
But there's a few previews up on the different sites. Jump in, have a look, and
we'll do. Yeah, be on that straight away. I like the sound of some 2023 product as well, if you can get it. JSN's rookie year. So if you can get that.
Got a couple of Origins blasters here at the moment, but that's all I've got on hand. But definitely having a hunt around. But like I said, can't go too far back. You sort of go to 2018 and 2020, 2017. Those particular years get expensive, but try and find a mix that's affordable for for myself and also for the group. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Mark, any questions from you?
No, just a lot of product that obviously I don't know about, to be honest. Prism Black does sound very slick, and I'm no surprise that that's perked to your interest, Coombe.
Yeah.
It sounds like a bit of you, that. But no, it's
Put it
interesting
down
to
on a notebook here.
Yeah, I saw you write it down.
Yeah.
No, not much. Just interesting that. So, do you go, Nick? Do you go to someone? You have a source, and you go to their warehouse, and you see what you can pick up, and then how does that sort of work?
Normally it's all really just sort of email, DM type conversations. But yeah, we've got a local supplier at the moment, and try to keep all my sourcing local. Just makes it easier if you're dealing with one person, you know. So they're based down in Taranaki, so it's about 3 hours drive from where I am. So don't get down there as regularly as I should. But yeah, it's kind of, or when I can get down there is the weekends when the warehouse isn't open. So you know, but it doesn't stop. You know, get the odd bit from offshore as well when we want to do something different, or if there's a release not coming to New Zealand. So the stuff that was released this week, I think Prism, No Huddle, and Select H2, which is coming up. They won't be coming to New Zealand through our distributor. So if we wanted to get them, we have to get them offshore. But it kind of, you can get anything, yeah. But by the time you actually get it here, the cost of freight,
That's it. Yeah.
the other associated costs, it becomes, I guess, not palatable for the group. And yeah, want to make sure that we can be as, I guess, competitive as possible when it comes to the product.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting to know.
Nick, I was at the start we were talking about while I was watching the Super Bowl, I had some cards out. So from my brother-in-law, Card Geezer, he just sent me on the day of the Super Bowl what these boys like to call a care package, which makes me laugh. The care package. But I posted it yesterday, but I got a Cooper Cup patch auto, and I haven't posted it yet, but I got a Sam Darnold rookie card. So I'd bought, I don't know if I told the story on here, I'll give it in a nutshell, but my sister had asked me about getting him something for Christmas, and I said, get him a Sam Darnold graded rookie card because he's a Jets fan. And when we went to watch the Jets, that's when he I came out the toilet, I'd gone to the toilet, come out, and Jets had got a touchdown, and he's cuddling some random guy, jumping up and down. And I think that was the moment he decided to be a Jets fan. So I said, there's a bit of a story there. He's gonna have a hard life, to be honest. He's made a bad choice. But I said, get this card. So I said, leave it with me, I'll have a look. So I went on eBay and I'd offered this guy, I'd offered on a graded card, PSA 10. And in England you have to put in your details. So when you're actually over there, and then it just takes the payment. So I thought, I'll offer, I think it's like £40. And he accepted it. So I went back to her and said, yeah, he's accepted it. She said, oh, no, I've got something else now. And I was like, you're taking the piss. So I've ended up with this Sam Darnold PSA 10. And when it came, I was like, I sort of semi-fell in love with it. I was like, oh, I really want this. For the same reasons I'd kind of said buy it for him. But something inside me didn't feel right. I was like, oh, so the day I left, I gave it to him. I said, like, you can have it. I've quickly come to regret that. But one of the things in his care package was a Sam Darnold, the same rookie card, but he's put it in a one touch. It's like, this is just a joke, but I would have preferred the PSA 10 back, but just a joke. But yeah, it was quite nice. It was sat there during the Super Bowl, and I was saying to Mark, like, I sound a bit like out of a Disney film here, a bit cliche, but like I kept looking at it and I was like, everything that happens in this game, that's why I like the hobby, that's why I like the cards, because everything's associated and tied up in that card. So even now, you've got stuff prior to it, so it's not all on the Super Bowl, but if we win the Super Bowl, there's a story attached to it. If we lose, there's a different story attached to it. And every time you look at the card, it's all tied up. And I feel like that was a little moment for me where I felt like I answered a question in my own head why I really, really liked it. And no one can change that now. So that, you know, you look at all my JSN cards and stuff like that, Super Bowl winner. I look at my Sam Darnold rookie card that I received that morning, Super Bowl winner. And then obviously you've got Sam Darnold's story linked into it as well.
It probably complements the collection a bit. So now you've got the rookie card and jet skier. You got the mini helmet with the Panthers.
Oh yeah,
and a bit of Seahawks stuff. So
that's it.
Look, it is a pretty cool story.
Yeah,
you know, anyone that kind of has that, I guess, rags to riches type, I don't know, it definitely may not add to the value, or add a little bit, but it's kind of adds to that collector value of the card.
Yeah, 100%. And I guess that's why you enjoy it, isn't it? When you look at it, and you know, it's a little bit like the gig tickets that we talked about with Lemmy, and we all kind of followed suit. You know, Lemmy, who came on the show, for years he put all his gig tickets in frames, and we kind of liked it. And I think a lot of us did it. I assume you've done that as well, Mark. But when you look at the ticket, you know, I could always tell you who I was with at that gig, you know, what we did and stuff like that. And sometimes the people you were with and that whole events of the day, the weekend, whatever it is, the second you look at that ticket, you can recall that to someone. So if someone points it out and goes, "Oh, you've been to see such and such a band," you can say, "Yeah, I was with Mark and we did this, we did that, this happened. Coombe threw up on a train on the way home." You know, it's all linked into that one ticket. And it's the same with the cards. That's what I find is, especially like using that Sam Darnold as an example. When I look at that, there's you know, everything's linked to it. Even my story about the PSA 10, you know, and letting Jake have that, and that's now for him will become a big part of his collection because for the same reasons, you know, and with Darnold going on to get a Super Bowl. So yeah, love it.
Being able to have those connections to things, it's kind of just adds to that the reason why, you know. I think if I kind of reflect back on some of the cards I pulled, you know, like that Kelsey to 10, the Kaboom, but you put that next to, which was great, awesome pull, biggest dollar value card.
Yeah.
But then you go to the other end. It was a couple of weeks ago, the Shane Van Gisbergen 1-of-1 from Prism Racing.
Yeah.
That would be the best card I've ever pulled, purely because of its meaning. And so that collector value versus dollar value, knowing that card, you know, Kiwi, it made it all the way to this side of the world and is now in the hands of a New Zealand collector who didn't have to pay the full market price for it. I know that's kind of, definitely part of the reason why I do what I do, you know.
Yeah, but that's like another different and another type of buzz, isn't it? When you're actually pulling the card for someone else, you'll have a lot of relationships with people and stuff like that, and to be able to produce that or pull that for someone must be equally as good feeling.
Yeah, definitely having
you get.
Like there's some of those cards that you would never actually get to hold, you know. So you get to hold them in your hand, covet them for a couple of days before they head off to their new owner. Sometimes they end up being a transaction and into the cabinet. But it's a little bit tricky at the moment because I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole with, I don't know if you can see the bike behind me.
I saw one of your posts,
doesn't fit in the cabinet, and I've kind of ended up in this old school BMX algorithm that has me potentially putting my money elsewhere for a few months. But I'm not sure I can fit a collection of bikes in my spare room.
You have to hang it on the wall.
That is part of the plan. Like a wall of bikes would be good.
Nice.
But it's on a whole. It's like collecting here versus collecting in the US. It's kind of on a whole another level when you start looking at the US stuff. And I don't know if SMC or Gizzy will accept a bike into their consolidation warehouse.
That's like when I went back to the UK, like with eBay and stuff like that. There's so much more stuff, and the postage is like a few pounds. So I'm like, I was just all over it. Whereas here, you get something from the States, you want to get one card, but it's what, $30 just to get it delivered.
Yeah. Are you using a consolidator, or are you getting everything shipped direct?
No, well, no. I think the problem with me is that I always intend not to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never gone and then found someone to do that, so they go into one place, because I'm always like, my mentality's always been like, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But now I need to accept that I've been doing it for nearly a year, so maybe it's time to consider that.
Yeah, I think depending on how much you're buying offshore, I would depend on the provider you use.
Yeah,
Because I think they're two quite different models. Yeah, SMC, a per card sort of receipt, and then eventually a storage fee if you leave it there too long, versus Gizzy, which is a subscription model. So you're paying for a year's worth of service or an annual fee as opposed to a per card. So yeah, it just depends on those volumes. And I think you're saving a bit on shipping, that kind of, and getting things. When you do actually do a shipment, they get out pretty quick, so they're coming via FedEx or UPS. I think fastest I've seen stuff get here is 3 days.
Nice.
From the time it left the US to New Zealand. But it depends how quickly do you want that card in your hand,
I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? I'm pretty impatient, to be honest. But then the eBay stuff takes a while. But then if you get if you get a regular enough stream, it's almost like every day, so it becomes irrelevant,
Yeah. Just
I shouldn't say these things.
Something turns up.
Yeah, Emma sometimes listens, so
and,
just a lie, just a joke.
Last weekend was the Wellington Card Show, their first one. Did you head along? You head along to that, Ben?
Yeah. So actually, that's a good point, Nick, because I've got something that I've done that I haven't even revealed to Martin.
Exclusive. Here we go.
So I've got, this is breaking news. I saw a post from the Wellington Card Show for June.
Yeah.
About supporter packages and that. So I bought a table.
Sorry, is that the second Wellington one, or the
one that's coming up in June? So it's the Wellington Card Collectors Show.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a Sunday, but it was reasonably priced, and I thought, I've got enough stuff here to make a go of it, and then you get your logo on their flyer and stuff like that. So I thought, we'll have a bit of that.
So you got the Kevin Curry table going on.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that I'd want to do a podcast from the show. So they were like, the guy who emailed me back was like, "Oh, we'll get you a table with a power socket and all that." And I was like, "Yeah, that's good." But I haven't revealed that to Mark yet. So there you go, breaking news. Yeah.
Bombshell, the first episode of season 2. Incredible scenes.
Exactly, yeah.
Scenes. Unbelievable.
So yeah, I'm going to be trying to collect a bit of. I've probably got enough stuff myself just to. But yeah, if there's some nice lots and stuff like that, I'll put out on the table. Give selling a go.
So we got a couple of shows coming up in New Zealand, which is looking forward to it. We got that. I think there's one regular that's just started up in Wellington. They had their first show a couple of weeks ago, and they're doing their second show in October.
Was that was the card and collectible show?
Yeah, the card and collectibles show.
So I went to that, but I waited until the last hour because, as you both know, I've got a slip disc in my back and can barely walk. So I thought, I'm not queuing. So I got there I think I got there about 3:00. But I think, as good as it was more. I'd say it's 80% like Pokemon TCG stuff. Top Play sports cards were there. I grabbed the blaster off them, and then there was Breaking Mad or something. They were there.
Breaking Mad were there, yeah.
Yeah, and then there was a few sort of little stalls in between that had bits. I mean, there was one guy that had some blasters from, I think there was a 2020. There was some different years. I had everything but 23. I would have grabbed the 23, but there was nothing. And then one chap down there had I think he had about 6 or 7 downtowns. but none. No, not that I could afford it, but I would have just looked at it and gone, yeah, I can't afford it.
Yeah,
But it would
it
have been nice to have
sounds.
seen it.
I think any show at the moment in New Zealand is kind of got that TCG kind of lean
Yeah,
on it or angle, or HobbyCon, which is the same weekend. So those two shows, HobbyCon in Auckland and the Wellington Card and Collectibles, both on the same day, I think, or the same weekend. So some of the vendors can't be in two places at once.
yeah,
And the guys like Blunt Card Crazy were up in Auckland.
yeah,
But again, that was they were the two tables that had anything sports. There's a couple of other smaller sports vendors, but yeah, mostly Pokemon, One Piece, bit of Magic. But it's good to see those shows actually starting to become regular now. Instead
yeah,
of,
definitely.
I know there was historically just a couple of big shows in New Zealand. So HobbyCons, I think they're running quarterly.
Yep.
Wellington Carded Collectibles, next one's October. We've got the big annual New Zealand Collectors Show in June. So yeah, a little bit of travel, and I think there's a Southern Hobby show going on April. So one of the guys has been organising that. I think Joe's going to be there for KCC.
Yep.
Might see if anyone else wants to jump on the end and do some NFL down there. I won't be able to make it. Just got to be
Yep.
there the following weekend for a 50th. So.
Oh, okay. Are you going to come to the Wellington one in June?
Not sure in what capacity, but it is in the plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, haven't grabbed the table, but I see they're also got their supporter. Oh, that was the same supporter packages you were talking about. So
Yeah.
did you go gold, silver, or standard?
No, standard. Yeah.
Standard. Yeah. So you got
We
the
don't need
table.
a big table. I mentioned to Brock about it as well if he wanted, because he said he was coming up for it.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to jump on the table as well.
Nice. There'll be a few sort of community, I guess, from the KCC community that might want to jump in and help fill up the table, give it some variety.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's that's kind of what I thought, to be honest. I was like, why not? Like people, it's hard to sell cards over here anyway. Like there's not many people per team, is there? So it is tricky. It does take a lot of time to do it within the groups. I've done a few recently, but I think what you were saying there, when you're getting more and more shows, chuck $100 on. You've got people are more likely to do it, especially if you've got. I know this is different, but if you've got a lot of TCG and stuff like that, and there's not a lot of sport, there's going to be a lot of people there that want that. And if you've got cards of varying different levels and stuff like that, I reckon it will be quite. Maybe I'm naive, but I think it'll be quite successful. Quite a good place to do it.
Like having, and when I did say sports, the majority of that sports got an NBA, NBA dominated. So there is a gap there in NFL, and I think it's just having the right mix of inventory. I think a lot of places kind of focus on that top end, and I've got these downtowns or I've got these coloured lasts, and if you a couple of boxes at the end that are just base inserts or coloured inserts. And those, I guess, five for $1 type scenarios,
100%.
That's kind of catering for both ends of the budgets in the hobby.
I think especially with players you like with me, for example, with Mosaic. I think what I found really hard with, and you asked a question on your survey about things that you don't really like, and I don't actually think I put this. But one of them is buying boxes. I've got to stop buying boxes because I bought a Mosaic Mega a while ago, and I really really like the purple reactives. And it makes me. It is funny because we're all chasing obviously Genesis and honeycombs and stuff like that. But the honeycombs, the Genesis are unbelievable, but the honeycombs I don't like them at all.
Yeah.
Yet I would still love one, because it's a just the rarity sort of side of it. But the purple reactives in the mega boxes, to me, look a million times better than a honeycomb. And when I bought this mega, there was 4 purple reactives, and I didn't get any Seahawks players. So I was really pissed off. So I jumped on eBay, and I bought 4 Seahawks players. for less, even from the States, but paid less than, even with shipping, what I paid for the mega box. And I was trying to explain to my missus, who just doesn't care, but I was like, the irony is, like, if I got that mega box and I pulled those 4 players that I bought, I would be buzzing. I'd be like, this is the best thing that's ever happened. So, like, in that moment, I was like, I think the answer's there, isn't it? The answer's presented itself. I think, not just saying it because you're on, but I think with breaks, you've obviously got that opportunity to jump into the hobby stuff, get your downtowns and your case hits, and it's fun, it's community. But I think buying boxes for me will be a rarity now, because it's far more cost effective to buy the players I want. And touching on what you said, purple reactives, it doesn't have to be expensive. They're common but I just love it. So I wanted the JSN. Any insert with JSN, I'll grab and I'll put in my collection. Doesn't have to be a downtown.
I have to hunt through my junk boxes and see if I've got anything stashed in there for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those owning boxes, there's still a buzz to that.
Yeah.
It's just how often are you doing it? Yeah. If I'm cruising past a Kmart or somewhere, and there's that one random blaster that you catch out of the corner of your eye, so I'll give it a go.
The damaged one.
I kind of do it with my daughter and the Pokemon. Yeah, there's blister packs that are available, and we see them there. We'll just grab a pack. She'll open them, and if there's anything decent in there, that'll go to funding her Louis Vuitton bag that she wants. That she's going to have to pull a lot of hot cards to get. But it's those sorts of things. And if packs don't get open, there's no singles to sell, no singles to buy. So
I saw a meme like that
on your shoulder and say, "Don't stop." No.
Yeah. I saw a meme the other day, Nick, with this is going to be a terrible story, so I can't really remember, but it said something about when you open $1,000 box and you get $60 worth of cards or something like that, and someone's saying, "Why didn't you just buy the cards you want?" And then whatever the video is saying, "Well, somebody's got to do it, taking one for the team," something like that. Yeah, but it's true, if people don't, if everyone takes that method, but that's the beauty of the hobby, isn't it? Like, I'm saying all this, but essentially I'm talking rubbish, because next week I'll be back down the card shop buying another mega box. It's
just have to get top player to put some kind of device on that Ben's coming, lock the doors.
I told him that. I said when I was down at top play, I said, "Don't let me in next time."
Program the car to divert. I think quite lucky here at Hamilton. There's no local card store. Yeah, there's a couple of TCG stores, but there's no sports stuff. Obviously there's kind of, when you're in Kmart, or it used to be EB Games, walking past, those would be the places that would kind of get the itch scratching. But the other part is kind of got all this inventory sitting here. Got to.
You're gonna have to have a lot of willpower, though.
Fairly disciplined.
Yeah, exactly. I'd get myself in all sorts of trouble. But talking to top play though, every time I go in there. So obviously he's got quite a big shop, and every time I go in there, he's added something else, but he's put a TV in now. So he's got the license for the TV. So I went in there before and he had like NBA on. If he decides to get a coffee machine or something like that, that's me. I'm done. I'll just be sat in there.
It's good to see that it's still going well, because they've only been open like less than a year now, isn't it?
I think Shane is kind of realistic. Like, you go in there, he's got tons of megas, blasters, single packs and stuff like that. But I think in terms of hobby in NFL, he's got a Mosaic International hobby box. But realistically, people don't walk in off the street and buy a hobby box. So that's really kind of where he's at and stuff like that. And he's got his display cabinets with singles, and I think he's doing really, really well. I think what with sort of people being aware that the shop was there was the first thing. So it's quite slow at first. If you went in and there was 2 or 3 people in there, you'd think it's like stacked out. But now you're going in there and it's like it's packed all the time. People know it's there now and stuff like that. And I think he's been really realistic and disciplined with like the stock levels he's getting. So like now, every time you go in, you're like, these cabinets are looking more full every time. You know, it's and he's got his WWE figures, the Funko Pop things. He's doing Pokemon. He's doing everything. Yeah. So you've got your pinball machine.
Speaking of which, finally one of my mail days did come in.
Nice.
Finally got my Elway.
Yeah.
But Terrell Davis was cancelled, unfortunately, so I got to try and find that somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yeah, having that right mix of, I think, I guess collectibles, to get a steady flow of people through. But I guess just really good. Glad to see the hobby growing, and the more stores we can get out there, the more people in the hobby. Just great to see success stories like that.
Yeah, it's good. Mark, I'm conscious that we've still got the you know it's going well when you plan to do 45 minutes an hour. We're an hour and a half in now, so
nothing wrong with a bit of long form. But look, awesome to be back on, and I'll let you guys jump into the next segment. I better go and it is Valentine's Day, so a few things, boxes to tick, or there'll be no more collectibles. Yeah.
Thanks for the reminder. I like it. Pleasure, Nick. And let's keep it fairly regular. I think that'll be really good. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Just give me a shout, and I'll be back for my third appearance. But thanks again. Thanks for supporting KCC, and good luck with Series 2.
Cool. Appreciate your time, Nick. Cheers.
Cheers.
We don't need to talk about Liverpool, don't we? That's fine.
No, we've been Liverpool.
We've been a great win midweek, but we'll look forward to Liverpool Brighton tonight. Well, tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's probably the less said the better, to be honest.
Yeah. I've got another story.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. I've got another story. My trip to London, but that'll wait for the next episode. I'm going to save it for the next episode.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I've seen you've sent me some videos for Insta, so they'll be going up. On that, Mark, should we have a little social media update quickly?
TikTok. It's been
start with TikTok.
Up and down recently, but we're looking at 1,170, I think. Last time I checked earlier, followers. Plenty of content to go up, but just got some edits to do, which obviously take time. So I'm going to start. I think we're going to start a new series of something like just posting pictures on there, photos of singles, big cards and stuff. Because I've just seen other pages do the same, and it seems to work and look good, and the outreach looks pretty decent. So and obviously I've got one big card that has not been unveiled yet on social media, which will be coming to the forefront at some point very soon.
Yeah, nice. I'm not going to lie to you. I was multitasking then, and that went a little bit over my head. That's very disrespectful of me, that, isn't it?
Not a problem.
I'm meant to be meeting someone at 12, a blast from the past. And I just realised it's 20 to 12. I'm not even ready.
Oh. On that bombshell?
On that bombshell, yeah. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'll have to listen back to the podcast, won't I, and find out what you just said.
Yeah, could do. Right, on that bombshell, let's wrap it up, and this is there's been a bumper edition, and then we'll be back with episode 2 next week, and there is plenty to catch up on that we haven't covered here, but more to listen to next week. There
is, and we've got some huge guests lined up, haven't we? We've got some huge guests.
Telling me, Chief. Just a few.
I'll drop a little taster. We've got a guest lined up in the next couple of weeks who will be revealing a draft pick at this year's NFL draft. It's huge. This is huge. So I'm buzzing for that.
Got to stay tuned to find out when that guest is coming on, who it is, and when it is. Stay tuned.
Massive. Hey, listen, Mark, this has been unbelievable. I've had a bit of withdrawal symptoms, I think. I love doing this. So this is huge. I've enjoyed it. Can't wait for next week. That's it from me.
It's been a pleasure. Welcome back. It's been really nice to catch up, and there's even more to catch up on next week. So only one last thing to do, isn't there?
Regards to your family.
Regards to your family. All the best.
See you next week.
Over and out.
Are we out?